In the long before time, when the world was young and I was but a wee lad looking for ways to be less popular at school, I landed in my first real geekdom, something that would come to dominate every waking thought from ages 12 to 15 or so. I played throughout my teens and 20s, but as my career started to take off, I didn't get a chance to play so much anymore, and it doesn't help that I picked up another couple nerdy interests along the way. If you ended up on this video via a D&D link, and you've never heard of modular synthesizers, here's the very basics. Modular synths take all the different sound-making components from a keyboard synth, split them up, package them separately, add in a bunch of new weird capabilities, and make you buy them again individually, and then forces you to figure out how to put it all back together. I've got lots of other videos where you can learn more about it, but please note that I'm not responsible for any damages done to your bank account as a result. But since I am a very silly person, given the chance to have a crossover between these two worlds, I couldn't resist. Now there's a lot of people who use computers to run their modular gear, but since I work with software all day, I didn't really want to bring that into my musical exploration. And then I found this little guy, the Monome Teletype. It's kind of like an old 8-bit computer, but for controlling modular synths. Watch a couple of my videos and you'll hear me repeat that modular is an exercise in problem solving. Some people enjoy doing things the hard way, I suppose, and the Teletype has this perverse little scripting language that you have to fight with, so of course I love it. The language is very limited, and whatever you want to do has to be expressed very concisely. You get only a few lines with a small number of characters each, and text output isn't really what it was made for. So, could I make it D&D? I was going to find out, that's for sure. And spoiler alert, I did, and it could. At least, kinda. The logic allowed by Teletype isn't close to enough to let me figure out character classes or anything like that, but I could roll up basic D&D stats and use those to figure out armor class and hit points based on a D6. But what good is that if I don't use those stats to create music with? And so here we are. A character is created every 4 seconds, and that's broken up into 16 steps of a quarter second each. For every hit point the character has, the Turing machine here receives a clock tick, and so does the ADSR to make the 4MS ensemble oscillator sound. If the Turing machine's pulse output goes high, it also fires off a note through the Depth for Mini-Synth module. Then I use the character's strength to modulate the warp input on the ensemble, along with a D4 on the twist input, and intelligence gets applied to the filter cutoff over here. I did say it was silly. Now in case you're curious, I just used the 3d6 down the line method of rolling stats. There's a lot of other ways to roll stats, like 4d6 and keep the top 3, but the Teletype would make that sort of thing a lot more difficult. And because I'm the sort of person who would do such a thing, I wrote some software to roll up a million different characters with a bunch of different techniques so I could see what sort of stat values they would generate on average. But since this isn't a D&D channel, I haven't really ever made a video for it, but here's a chance to show it off a bit. If you think I should make the video, even if it's more off topic than this one, leave a comment and let me know. And that's it, just a silly little crossover digression. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a follow-up to my Teletype tutorial video, and if you'd like to know more about modular synths or how math and music relate, check out some of my other videos. So I'm just going to let this run, making characters and singing to itself for a couple minutes. If you made it this far, maybe consider subscribing. Thanks.